The reason that our party, or I won't even say our party, our country is torn apart is because we can't even agree on right versus wrong. Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not gonna stop talking about him. We're gonna keep talking about him until he is out of here.
Well, I wanna see Elon Musk taken down on my birthday. That's what Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett said right before she absolutely demolished the world's richest man in a congressional hearing.
For whatever reason, just because he has a lot of money, more money than everybody else, and yes, I am happy to see that on my birthday.
And let me tell you, she got exactly what she wished for. Watch as this former criminal defense attorney uses her legal superpowers to expose not just Musk, but the entire Republican Party backing him. It's like watching a chess master play against someone who thought they were showing up for checkers. Spoiler alert, Musk wasn't ready. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. When Jasmine Crockett walked into that hearing room, she wasn't just celebrating another trip around the sun. She was about to give herself the best birthday present ever, watching Elon Musk squirm under the weight of his own contradictions.
I don't like Elon Musk. I'ma say it 50,000 times. I don't like him. I don't like that he going out there and he firing people.
But what made this congressional smackdown so special wasn't just what she said, but how she said it. Before trading legal briefs for legislative bills, Crockett honed her skills in courtrooms where fancy billionaire talk wouldn't save you from cold, hard evidence. Those years as a criminal defense attorney weren't just a line on her resume, they were her secret weapon against the world's richest man. While her Republican colleagues were practically asking for Musk's autograph, Crockett was methodically setting up her cross-examination. You could see the exact moment when Jim Jordan realized what was happening. The man started fidgeting with his pen like it was suddenly the most interesting object in the universe. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, her eye roll was so dramatic that those eyeballs nearly took a vacation right out of her head. Nothing says we're in trouble quite like watching GOP representatives squirm while their tech titan bestie gets verbally dismantled. What makes a former defense attorney different from your average politician? They don't ask questions they don't already know the answers to. They don't leave escape hatches in their questioning. When Crockett started pressing Musk, she wasn't hoping to catch him in a contradiction. She knew exactly where she was steering this conversation, and poor Elon never saw the corner until his back was firmly against it.
Very simple. We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists.
Her courtroom experience gave her that prosecutor's instinct, knowing when to push, when to let the witness dig their own grave, and when to deliver the knockout punch. This wasn't random questioning. This was a carefully choreographed legal maneuver designed to expose not just Musk's flimsy arguments, but the entire Republican fantasy about who deserves power in America.
And we're talking about someone who's unelected, unvetted, and definitely unconfirmed.
The brilliance of Crockett's approach wasn't just in what facts she presented, but in how she structured her questioning to prevent the typical billionaire bob and weave. Every time Musk tried to change subjects or deflect, Crockett's legal training kicked in, redirecting him back to the contradiction at hand. It was like watching someone try to play chess with a former champion who already knew their next 5 moves. For Democrats watching, it was a masterclass in how to confront power directly. For Republicans, it was an uncomfortable reminder that celebrity worship doesn't hold up well under legal scrutiny. By the time she finished, the power dynamic had completely shifted. The world's richest man suddenly looked smaller, and a congresswoman celebrating her birthday had given American democracy the gift it needed most.
The reason that our party, or I won't even say our party, our country is torn apart is because we can't even agree on right versus wrong.
A reminder that money and Twitter followers don't make you above accountability. The power shift in that hearing room exposed something far more dangerous than just a billionaire's bruised ego. Since when did America decide that buying a social media company gives you more political influence than the actual votes of millions of Americans? Crockett wasn't just embarrassing Musk, she was blowing up the Republican fantasy that wealth equals wisdom, and that democracy should bow to dollars rather than votes. What Crockett did was break the unspoken rule in Washington. Don't point out that Republicans seem more interested in pleasing billionaires than representing voters. With surgical precision, she cut straight to the heart of the problem, basically saying, hey, why are you guys acting like this dude's bank account makes him your boss?
Question is, Elon, what have you done? Besides tear us apart, besides be in over your head, besides make sure that you continue to enrich yourself.
The elephant in the room was finally acknowledged. Rich guys with Twitter accounts were somehow becoming more powerful than the people who actually went to the polls. You could see the room temperature change when Crockett delivered her knockout line. It feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to cast aside your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who was unelected. Boom, no fancy talk, just a direct hit that exposed the ridiculous power handoff happening right before our eyes.
The rest of us can't get our dealerships protected by the federal government. That is somebody that is operating above the law. Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not gonna stop talking about him. We're gonna keep talking about him until he is out of here.
Meanwhile, Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jamie Raskin were practically passing popcorn as they watched Crockett's performance. They were whispering and smiling as she methodically took apart the bizarre idea that having millions of followers somehow qualifies you to influence national policy. It was like watching a masterful chess player systematically removing pieces from the board while her opponent still thought they were playing checkers. The Republicans looked like kids caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Their faces screamed she wasn't supposed to say the quiet part out loud. They've been perfectly happy letting billionaires with blue check marks influence policy, as long as nobody points out how weird that is in a supposed democracy.
Him and his organization. Now, I don't know how you can have him be the watchdog as well as the guy that is literally living off of the government.
While this was happening, Musk was reportedly watching from his feed, probably choking on his morning coffee as Crockett turned his social media empire into nothing more than an expensive toy rather than a qualification for political influence. You could almost imagine him furiously typing and deleting responses, realizing none of his usual comebacks would work against someone who wasn't impressed by his bank account. This wasn't just about one congressman taking on one billionaire. This was about American democracy itself, the fundamental question of whether we're still a country where votes matter more than verified accounts, where elected officials answer to voters rather than donors, and where the Constitution trumps the almighty dollar. And that's the ultimate lesson from this showdown. Musk might control Twitter, sorry, X, but Crockett exposed the fundamental truth that digital influence doesn't override our Constitution. Just because you've got a blue check mark and billions doesn't mean you get to bypass actual voters. Democracy isn't an app you can download or a company you can acquire.
It is true that we are in a time that we've never seen before. We have someone that does not believe in co-equal branches of government.
When the dust settled, Crockett's confrontation wasn't just good TV. It was a vital reminder that in America, the ballot box still matters more than your follower count. Musk may have bought a social media platform, but as Crockett brilliantly demonstrated, democracy itself isn't for sale, not even to the world's richest man.